Okay, so this is Jillian and Steve, and they're expecting their number 2. I'll start off with questions, and anytime you guys have questions to us, just interrupt and ask. Okay, it's completely informal. Okay, now that you've had one birth experience, if there's one thing that you'll share to dads, what would you say? Like, how would you describe the birth experience, and what tip will you give them?
Don't be afraid. It's literally the best day of your life when you go into it. And personally, myself, I was terrified because I'm very weak when it comes to anything gory. But you forget about all that, and you just get in the zone and help your wife and help her get through it, because it's all about her and the baby that day.
For reference, he almost passed out in an ultrasound.
Yeah.
That's a long journey.
so just put that fear in your back pocket and just worry about them that day.
So what do you think helped you through the entire journey to get to that end point where you enjoyed it, where you weren't fearful?
It was, I would say, going through a lot of the classes at 4 trimesters helped a lot. Just being knowledgeable about, what the options were, what could happen, or if something did happen, what was the outcomes and the options. So, had I not known that stuff, the doctor would have caught me off guard a couple times, and I've been saying just do whatever you need to do. But having that knowledge, it's like having a tool. It's like being a contractor having a tool, the right tool for the job. So.
Right. So if there's one tip you have for them, what would that be? As in, if it's don't be afraid, then be what?
Excited, just enjoy it. You're gonna have a little squishy baby at the end. So.
Would you describe it as fun in its own way?
Yeah, I mean it's fun and exciting the whole time. Yeah, it doesn't need to be a frightening experience.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you. What about yourself?
What was the least expected?
No. Now that you've done it before and you have that birth experience to go with, what's the one tip that you would give mothers?
It's probably similar. It doesn't have to be terrifying. You see movies and you see books, and everyone is screaming and telling their husband to put down the video camera and whatever else goes into that, your fear and stirrups, and it just looks horrible. But we were just talking that with this one, we actually need to consciously go to the hospital sooner, because it never was painful. It never was terrifying. I never got to that point that I expected, okay, well, this is supposed to suck now, we got to go to the hospital now. And you don't have to get to that point.
Yeah.
I know every birth is different in that, but yeah, don't start with that in mind.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Best tip: listen to your doula.
That Katie is your doula.
Should we get a cab now? Okay,
yeah.
sure.
Okay. All right. Do you have questions you'd like to ask? Questions, dads? Anything you'd like to ask?
Maybe you could describe your labor, or like what it was like.
Yeah.
Everything.
So she showed up right at 40 weeks, and 4 days leading up to that, I was in like a very mild labor, pre-labor, whatever you want to call it, where my stomach kind of just turned into a basketball, and it wasn't painful, and you'd sleep through it about every hour. It was probably more annoying than anything. And then it stopped, and you get really frustrated because you're expecting it to progress, and it didn't. But then that night started up again, and they were about 15 minutes apart. And it was still like I woke up with the 4 days of this. And so we eventually called Katie, and she came over, and we ended up calling a taxi. So it started at 12:30 in the morning. Called a taxi around 4. Got to the hospital around 4:45, and then she was born at 6:11, so just over an hour at the hospital. And it's probably more entertaining from his perspective, but never had, didn't do an IV. We had one of the rooms at Glen Eagles that had the mobile monitoring, so I was able to walk around and do different positions and stuff like that, including at one point, where is Kate?
Sure.
Wow. Just hiding. At one point, Katie suggests let's do some lunges during contractions, and so got off the bed and did 3 sets of lunges, and I'm pretty sure you guys said the nurse's face was like, oh my god, they're doing what?
Yeah, we got judged right away as soon as you said that. She said, oh, it's one of these people. It's never ever gonna work. And then they did the check immediately after the lunges. Her face went,
this poor
we
nurse
can call the doctor right now.
Yeah, the poor nurse is like crawling on the floor with a flashlight, trying to see what's going on. And he said her face went from, whoa, it's working. Okay.
Yeah.
And about 20 minutes later, she showed up. So the different positions and having a doula there that's not emotionally involved in it, physically involved in it, can kind of be the level head was awesome. And it was, being my first, I didn't know what to expect. I had a friend say, have a doula, don't go without. So I said, okay. But it was things where she would suggest, well, do you feel like you have to go to the bathroom? Do you feel like you want to go over here? Do you feel like you do this? And you just kind of go, oh yeah, that's what that feels like. Yes, please. and you don't think about it. So it was an awesome experience. And when Dr. Lai said, what do you want to do for the second one? I said, I'll just take another one of those.
Which was the same, I was going to ask you that question.
Minus the 4 days at the beginning. But yeah, it was a great experience.
Yeah. How do you feel that changed the way you breastfed, parent, and everything else, having had that experience? What was the impact of a good birth experience?
I think being open to suggestion. Try this, do that. We did have issues with breastfeeding with her. She was actually syringe fed completely for the first week. I was dealing with a broken arm, so I had issues holding her on top of it. But just the patience and having somebody that's there helping you, that definitely knows more than you do about it. We got there. She ended up breastfeeding until about 15 months.
Yeah.
So, with the traveling job.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything you want to know about traveling and storing breast milk and bringing it through customs? She's the queen, okay? Okay, what do you have to add to that? How do you think it changed from your perspective as a man, having gone through the birth experience and having it be a good birth experience? How did that shape you as a father and as a partner?
I don't know if the birth experience being positive or negative necessarily did it, but just knowing that knowing that you need to be there to help support her and everything like that. Before it happens, there's always a question of, am I ready for this?
Yeah.
And I think every father thinks that.
Yeah.
And as soon as it happens, you forget about that. You just do it. You just do what needs to get done, and enjoy it, because it's only going to last a very short amount of time. Then they're going to be walking around like they are now.
I think it added some confidence that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
What they say it's going to happen, they say you should do, and for anybody that's having a first kid, just ignore what they say, because it's going to be completely different. And I think there's a funny blog article out there, like, make sure they co-sleep, but not too close to you because it'll kill them, so make sure they're in the other room. And it just shows this whole spectrum of all the advice you're going to get. And so to have a good experience and to be able to have the confidence that, I got this, I'll figure it out, probably helped. I think on the spectrum of parenting, I'm rather relaxed with her compared to some first time shaking a lot. And so I think having a good birth experience probably gave me the confidence that it's be good.
Right.
It'll be fine.
Right.
She'll turn out okay.
And that's now number 2, and they'll be okay too.
Another one.
Yeah.
Where is she, by the way?
Yeah.
By the way, have you seen my
we're
kids?
relaxed parents.
Okay, any questions from the floor? Anyone wants to ask anything? No? Like, I don't know what to ask. Anything else you want to share that I may not have asked or mentioned, or anything like that?
Yeah, if you haven't had a friend tell you to have a doula yet, I will be that friend for you. I know some people I've talked to have thought that, having a doula means you have to have the natural birth in some tub in your living room with some lady with a drum, like that's the natural birth that you see in a movie. You don't have to have that. It is somebody to just help with what you want and help make sure you have the options. And I personally, I didn't have any drugs, but I know that plenty of other people that do it other ways. To have the coach there, especially being so far from home, was fantastic. So yes, we will have doulas again this time around.
Okay, so one of the questions that women always ask, right, is how painful does it get? Right? Because a lot of people, when they come, they're like, can I do this? Is this for real? Are you guys like, you did it, kind of thing. How would you describe your whole coping strategies around going through labor?
It was never, like when I think of painful, I think of somebody hand me some morphine. Like unbearable, this hurts and I have no control over it.
So that's a keyword that you have no control over.
Yeah, the going through labor and even delivery, even when, you could feel like her head and her shoulders, and it wasn't painful. It was more, it was intense, and I think Katie had gotten pictures to prove it. I'm sure, breathing changed and all of that. But you do it a minute and a half at a time. And so if you can focus on that minute and a half, and we're both triathletes, and so I would equate it to training in a really intense workout. You do it one little bit at a time. Okay, we got past that one, now let's relax. All right, now let's do the next one, and let's relax. And so it's not going through hours of labor, it's going through a minute and a half of labor just to hold it.
It's like interval training. It's really like interval training.
Yeah. So it's intense, and it's, when I fell and broke my arm, it didn't hurt. I mean, I snapped this thing in half, and it was crooked. And I fell, and I looked at it and went, oh crap, I broke my arm. Okay. And it didn't hurt because you have the chemicals in your body to counteract that. And I would imagine it's the same things when you're delivering a baby. You have the chemicals in your body to do it. When my arm started hurting was when that went away, when all those chemicals are gone. And that's when they had to give me the morphine. And so at birth, once all the baby's here and we're relaxed, and she's laying on my chest and those chemicals are gone, and he started stitches, that hurt. But that I would say was painful, but the baby, no, it wasn't.
Women, any questions? Anything you'd like to ask?
So, besides seeing it for the first time, I guess is the highlight, which is the other emotional highlight that you'd like to mention from the labor?
Oh, yeah, the first time.
Other than seeing her for the first time, emotional highlight?
Like, how do you feel when you first met her?
Well, so we didn't find out if it was a boy or a girl. So that was like tenfold even more. So we had very, very bold red letters in our birth plan for the hospital that I don't want some doctor or nurse telling me if it's a boy or girl. I want him telling me. So that was a big cool thing on top of it, to find out from him. For the women, there's this weird sensation, like after she shows up, the realization that she was a 4.2 kilo baby, for reference. And so to have her laying on your chest when she's kind of spread out versus like tucked up in some tiny ball in your stomach, it looks a lot bigger. That I didn't expect. So to go through that like mental transition of I grew a person and now it's on the outside, and that's how big you are. But yeah, that was kind of cool. Dads won't experience that same thing. They're not gonna get it.
Any other questions? No? Okay, thank you very much.
Good job.